Dancing Duelists is an auto-battler with a deck-building and strategy system, but more importantly, it is a proof of concept from the developers who brought us games like Slay the Spire, utilizing a newly popularized gaming engine called Godot, just in 3 weeks. Given the Unity game's recent social media outcry, it's something that gives other developers a glimmer of hope. Unity Games had their CEO step down shortly after changing the fees associated with their engine, effectively attempting to screw over a lot of talented game developers by taking more money than was deemed reasonable. That being, every time anybody installed the game from the developer, Unity would need to be compensated as they would be tracking their installations. In a nutshell, Unity modified their pricing plans and effectively rewrote their contract, demonstrating just how untrustworthy they are from a developer's viewpoint. It's basically like going out and buying anything or using anything with a signed contract, and then having them rewrite it and start charging you for every time you'd use that feature or item that you purchased. It's an utterly pitiful thing to do. It's not like they were starved for cash or anything. With a small team of outstanding developers surrounding a studio like Megacrit Games, it's done rather well for a game that was in production for a short amount of time shortly after completely switching over to another game engine. This is exactly what it is, a concept to demonstrate the ease of use of this engine in comparison to a well-known behemoth like Unity, as it crumbles into nothing due to its corporate greed that knew no bounds. As a result, the game isn't particularly polished, and while the music is repetitious, it is rather catchy. The graphics are vivid and not overly cartoonish, and it demonstrates that they aren't too concerned with how everything appears to be on the screen, which is okay. Because this is such a simplistic premise, there isn't much of underlying depth in this game. You can choose from 11 different characters, each with their own unique sets of passives and decks to begin with. You must then match their abilities with their cards and the rules in order to try to become the best dancer to win. You don't really get much for beating the game. It's very comforting to know that there are developers willing to go to such lengths to reach out and show that you don't need to be a part of a large company to execute a lot of things efficiently or even professionally. I have several friends who use Godot, and I myself use it, though not for game development, but for basic programs that allow me to generate review cards and even overlays. Sure, I could use something more upscale, but I don't need it. So if you do know of somebody who is currently dealing with this Unity issue, tell them about Godot, because it's one of the most fantastic programs out there. This entire endeavor has been fairly taxing on many parties involved, yet with such excellence from Megacrit Games, I am confident that this will benefit them and everyone else wishing to upgrade to a new engine. What's more, it demonstrates the potential for a game like Slay the Spire to be 10 times the game that it has been for the last few years, providing that the developers are working on such a game to become its predecessor.